Oh, Maui Parra, I am so excited to spend time with you today on the podcast and pull apart your story, your ginormous vision for your business and your team, and talk about what is working in your business. You guys, Maui comes to us from Atlanta, Georgia. She has only been a loan officer since 2018. Check out her story. 6 million year one, 16 year two, then 26, 28, 34, 44, and 57 million in 2024. Alongside of that, after being a loan officer for 3 years, she becomes a branch manager. And last year, between her production and her team's production, they helped over 550 families in Atlanta, Georgia. Maui is an all-in leader. She is giving it everything she's got. And what I loved about meeting you, Maui, in Catalyst for the first time, I think we met at the Modern Mortgage Summit in Las Vegas, is this vision you have. You want to be a $2 billion a year group, and you want to be the number one Latina loan officer in the United States. You're well on your way being in the top 250 with NAREP. And you're a trust builder networker. So today we're going to pull apart how you did it, how you're going to do it, and what's working for your people. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you. Thank you. I think this is an honor for me to be here. So I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity and platform. I love talking to you. So this is going to be fun.
Woo! I want to know, how did you come up with this vision? You've been a branch manager for 4 or 5 years. Being a producing branch manager is a lot, because I know you care about your people and their success as much as you care about your own. And it's a lot of plates to spin, a heavy load to carry. Where did you come up with this vision of being number one Latina and $2 billion group?
Well, I think that the question is not why do it, but why not, right? I think it's just fun. It gives me those, butterflies in my stomach every time I think about it. And that's the excitement that we all need to keep going. So I need something to keep me excited about what I do. And I do have the excitement that comes from homeownership by itself, right? I'm excited about that. But having that huge dream, it also allows me to find the people that aligns with that crazy big goal, right? And they're all excited as well. So it's like just gathering more and more people that wants to get there. And I just think that if my goal wasn't as big, I would get tired eventually and I'm frustrated. So I need a big goal for me to keep going.
Now, what I know about you is you're not only a survivor, but you are somebody who thrives despite circumstances. You migrated here with your family at the age of 14. Mm-hmm. Your husband was in the military. You've got 6 children, his, hers, and ours. You still have a 7 and 9-year-old, 2 boys at home. So You've got a big, busy life. I like saying that big goals give you energy. But what about your story and specifically the lessons you learned from your father help you on a daily basis in business?
Well, my dad was born in the 30s in a very small country in South America. And all the odds were against him. He was one of 8 kids with a single mom. And despite all those circumstances, he was able and manage to grow an empire. He was a very successful businessman who actually did businesses not only locally in my home country, but also in the whole region in South America. And the most interesting thing about it is that when I was 13, I realized that he didn't know how to read or write. Wow. My dad was never able to because he had a yellow fever when he was a baby. So he wasn't able to learn how to read and write. Now, he would meet with these architects and engineers and they would build cities, but he didn't know how to read or write. And I didn't know that until I was 13. So he sat me down and he said, this is what happens. And your mom is always beside me. She knows how to read, and she would read contracts for me and just pass it in a certain way where I know that I have to sign. And everything else, we do it by word. My word is, my credit card, I will say, right? So, or my business card. And that's how he conducted business. And one of the most interesting things that I learned from that point forward is that nothing is impossible. Think about it, right? I mean, when you're 13, your dad here, who has 200 employees under him, and the guy built that whole empire, is telling you, I don't know how to read and write, but look at what I did, right? So, what
Wow.
excuses do you have from that point forward? None. So, market goes up, market goes down. I mean, nothing is impossible. And that's what I learned from a very young age. And that's the reason why big goals don't scare me, they excite me, because it's I know it's going to happen. It's possible.
So you get into the mortgage industry and you spend a little time as a loan officer assistant, and then you're a processor for 2 years before making the jump into being an LO and now a branch manager with these huge goals. What what made you decide to jump into being a loan officer? Was this something you always wanted to do, or were you forced into it? How did that go?
No, I didn't want it to do it. I think that everybody lands here by mistake. I was going to law school, and I was pregnant with Sebastian, and I had a lot of complications. So I wanted to find something that would allow me to stay home with Sebastian, and something that was not as stressful as working in the legal field, which, it's crazy because I came to this side and now I know what stress is about, right? But my sister was a realtor. So she's like, well, I have a friend, she's a lender, and just, she needs somebody to help her. Why don't you do this? And you can do it from home. So that's what I did. I went and I started learning. And then it was a passion that it started building up within me. And then 2 years later, I was like, this is it. I need to do this on my own, and I need to take the test and do what I need to do to become an LO. And that's what I did.
It's fantastic. And obviously, you've built this business brick by brick. A $6 million year is not something people brag about. But when you stack a 6 million with 16, with 26, with 28, you've had this consistent growth, generally 30% or more per year. So let's talk about how you built it, with that story from your father, that belief that nothing is impossible, this passion growing inside of you. What was your strategy, and what has been your strategy, being both a trust builder and a networker? How did you go out and get the business?
So I started doing these lunch and learns very, very early in my career. The first one was 10 people and 3 Subway sandwiches, right? That I could cut in 3 pieces. So the sack count for each person. And anyway, so and 4 out of the 10 were my family members. So people that came to support me. And then friends that they brought. And then the next week I said, and in the next month I said, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it every single Thursday, third Thursday of every month. I don't care. If people shows up, that's fine. If they don't, I don't care. So that's how I did it. Consistency. It's the key to that. I would do my lunch and learns, not thinking on how many people was coming, and focusing on what I was going to deliver. What is it that I can give to these realtors that would be of value to them? And that was my main concern every single month, right? What is the product? What is the information? What's the message that they need this month? And it kept me thinking for those 3 or 4 weeks on what is it that I can do for them. So I started doing it, and then it was 20 people, 40 people, 60, 100. And we consistently, have 100 to 120 people monthly in my office for these lunch and learns now. I have people coming from Tennessee, from Orlando, from Florida, from Alabama to attend these events. And now what we are doing is actually going and to certain other areas, to 5 other areas, strategic areas that we have chosen. And we started doing these lunch and learns locally so people doesn't have to travel. Now, I am so strict about consistency that during 2020, in the pandemic, March and April were the only months that I didn't do it because I was cracking my head and thinking, how is it that I can go back to this? Until I learned how to do Zoom and I learned that something called Uber Eats existed. So I would sit down and my realtors will hear the doorbell ring, and it was lunch that I had sent to them. And I will
Nice.
sit down in front of the computer eating, and they will sit down and eat with me. And we were, doing the lunch and learn. And then it escalated to, 6 months later, the team will actually, some of my team members will deliver the food to them,
Wow.
to the ones that were close by. So that's how consistent we have been with these events. People ask for them, they want to come. Now, I wasn't good about following up. I wasn't good at the beginning. So I wasn't being intentional. It was just about, delivering, meeting people, enjoying myself and enjoying the company of the realtors that were coming. Starting in 2021, I started doing the surveys at the end. So it was about, okay, what is it that you liked about the event? Who was supposed to be here out of your friends that wasn't? So can I have their names? Can I invite them next year? We started doing our SVPs and we started doing, databases, building a database. And that really changed our whole team and the outreach that we were having, right? So it was more intentional starting in 2021. And that's when I started seeing more results.
Yeah, I noticed from 20 to 21, you stayed about 26 million because it's where you hit a plateau. And then you're like, wait a minute, I got to refine.
Yeah.
So let's talk about filling. First of all, I just want to acknowledge and tell you how proud I am of you becoming a new LO and deciding to teach, because so many people are so afraid of public speaking. They would rather die than public speak. And then they're worried about, am I going to say it perfectly? Is the content going to be good enough? Is nobody going to show up? And there's so many barriers that people have about doing this. So did you feel comfortable public speaking? Did you feel comfortable as a teacher? What got you over those traditional humps that people would be really fearful of?
I think that my background as a processor gave me that confidence, at least on the products and how to structure it and what is it that an underwriter is going to ask for and how you can present this to the loan officer, or how can you help your buyer, right? So those tips actually helped me. And then after that, it was a matter of seeing that people would react to what I had to say in a positive way. And that started helping me build that confidence, right?
Beautiful.
So by the end of that year, because people was reacting and bringing more friends, and you have to listen to Maui and she explained us about this, that helped me with confidence, to keep going.
Okay, so those initial 10 people, 4 of them are family. I love that you had audience members planted. That is a really good idea. The 6 people that showed up and on and on and on. Did you cold call these people to get them there? Did you milk route to their offices? Like, how did you get people to start showing up in the beginning, or continually? How do you get people to show up?
Yes. So at the beginning, yes, I would call them. And my only requirement was to bring somebody else, right? So can you please come and bring somebody else? We're going to have good food, right? At the beginning, it was like, I promise it's going to be good food. And they will come, right? And then after that, it was about the topic, right? And that, I think, it was very crucial also because I create my own content. And most of the time it's not about my product or what I can sell. It usually has something to do with either mindset, market updates, and how to win in whatever market we are. So tools, right? How to win an offer, how to win in a buyer's market now, right? So teaching them those tricks and changes in the market and how to go about winning in that specific market. That's how we're doing it. So the content actually made a huge difference because it was all about them, and about mindset and about connecting right with the people that was in front of me.
Fantastic. What I've noticed about networkers, and you and I are both a networker, is that we don't have a problem begging, borrowing, dragging, pleading to get people to show up to things.
I
Like,
know.
it seems to be that networkers are really like, come on, please just come. You're going to have fun and bring
Yeah.
a friend. And who do you know? And who do you know? And who do you know? And, I think a lot of people, when they look at the archetypes initially, think, a networker goes to networking functions, small groups, large groups. And I think we do. I think people like you and I do that. However, networking also happens in very subtle ways, which is, hey, who do you know, Maui? Like, you're in Atlanta. Who's cool in Atlanta? Who do you know who I could talk to, or who should be coming with us, or who should be getting in Catalyst, or whatever? And people want to be around that energy because they can feel that you care about them. You want them there. The vibe is going to be great. Like, you're appealing to that. I don't want to miss out. And people are really motivated by a fear of missing out or a fear of loss.
Yeah.
So let's keep going forward. So you weren't intentional. You started doing a survey after a lunch and learn. You get their name and their birthday and their address, and you send them a thank you card, and you put them in your database. And then you ask for referral. Who else should have been here that wasn't here? And now the next event, are you calling all your people again to invite them? Are you using a text message or using an email? What are you doing to continually make people feel special and want to come?
So email, massive text, and also social media. Okay. So those are the three main ways to invite people to come to these events.
And when you're saying people are driving and coming from far and wide to come to these classes, it's still you speaking every single month, Maui?
Me speaking.
And are you speaking English or in Spanish?
This is in Spanish for now. Now we have these other 5 that are going to be in English. Okay. So the ones that are going to be in other areas are going to be in English. They're also asking us to go to Florida. So I'm probably going to plant that seed in Florida and start going to Florida. Because we have realtors there right now.
So that made it special and unique and made all Spanish speakers feel like this is something for us. Like this is an event for us in a way that, addresses the needs of our customers and our language. That's brilliant. I love that. Your 9 other loan officers in your branch, do all of them speak Spanish?
Yes, we're all bilingual. And this is my contribution to their business. So when I do these events and I prepare the content and I deliver, it's for everybody's realtors, not just mine. So everybody's welcome, everybody's invited. And it's great because that creates that support that they also need. Not everybody, like you said, is comfortable with speaking, right? And sometimes we switch it up. Sometimes they do half of it and I do another half. But they always want to at least close with me, do a market update with Maui or something, a portion of the event with me. But most of the time it's me speaking and they will invite everybody over.
Well, I would say that networkers have the ability to build community. And so you were already doing these classes for your personal production as you slowly added loan officers to the branch. And I imagine you use them kind of as a recruiting tool as well, because people would see, oh my gosh, Maui's doing these events and the realtors want to go to Maui's events. Maybe I should work for Maui and my people can come to these events.
Correct. And not only is those events, Shay, so we have those 12, right, launch and learns. We also have something called Summer Palooza on August or during the summertime. And we invite all of our database, our past clients. Last year, we had 300 families come and we rent this water park. and we reconnect with them. It's the most precious. I mean, if I've never done that, you have to. It's so beautiful to see these kids, they have grown, or they tell you about their rooms and how they painted it pink or blue or whatever. I don't have to sleep with my brother anymore because now we have a house. It's such a beautiful thing. It connects me to my why in a way that nothing else would, right?
Yep.
So we play with them, we play games, we enjoy the water park, and we reconnect with those clients, and the realtors are welcome to come as well. This year, we're also going to integrate their businesses. Most of them are business owners. So it's going to be kind of like a fair. If they want to put a booth there and start networking with other past clients that have other business, they can do that. The other thing we do is once you close, and this is something I do for my new realtors, and this is extremely important. And I think that I want your community to listen to this. One of the things that I do for my VIP realtors at the beginning of the year, and especially to those that are new, that don't know how to start their business, I tell them, let's go ahead and set up a meeting in your house. Let's just drink coffee or eat something together, right? And they invite maybe 5 or 6 families they know. I show up and we become friends and we start talking about home ownership, right? And they ask questions. One of my realtors last year, she started in January and she closed 12 deals during that year because of that initial meeting. Now, that's not all. When we go into the contract, we start talking about the taquiza, and the taquiza is a party that we do, a warming party, and I bring the tacos. So I hire a guy, and he actually cooks the tacos for us in the backyard. And I bring my kids, Sebastian and Lucas. They come with me and my husband, and we just play in the backyard. And they invite all their friends and family to look at the house, of course. But we talk home ownership, and that's my way to support these new agents. And it has been incredible how those connections have helped us to grow their business as well. So you see, it's about being strategic, being intentional in those networking events, but at the same time, it connects you to why you do what you do, right? You do it from the heart. You really get involved with these families and you're like, oh my goodness, and you have 3 bedrooms. Let me see the house. I saw the address, but I never saw the house, right? So it's like, look at what you did with this room and the furniture. And they're so excited to see you and meet you. Some of them I have never met, right? During the process, but now I'm there. So that is crucial. And if you want to do something for a new realtor that really wants to work with you, that would be, that will bring excellent results.
So one thing that I asked you upon getting ready for this call, because your business keeps growing by 30% a year. Now, obviously, you've got a lot of onesie twosies, people that have met you through these events. You're demonstrating your authority and your credibility because you're teaching them strategies to win. So you're showing your level of competency as a loan officer. But what I found as a networker, until I sit down one-on-one and have that business meeting, and you being a trust builder, really build that one-on-one trust, I don't convert at a high level because otherwise it's just a bunch of spray and pray. People might be impressed, but they're not in relationship. So what has been your strategy from a lunch and learn to get one-on-ones to then convert eventually to VIPs? Like, how do you work that process? And what level of agent are you looking for? What are you trying to cultivate with this VIP group?
So part of the survey is a question that says, do you want a one-on-one with Maui? Do you want to learn more about what Maui is doing? And if they say yes, I accommodate a meeting with them. Most of the time they do. So we go and we have lunch and we talk about the questions that they may have. Now, at that point, think about it. They already follow me in social media. They saw me speaking at this event. By the time that I sit down, I'm not asking for business. We're just going to see how is it that I can help you structure your business so you can make more deals, right? Yep. So like you said, I come in as an authority because they know that I know. right? So that's one of the things that we have done for me to collect those VIPs. Now, who am I looking for? To be honest with you, I don't like divas. I don't like people that has huge productions. Sometimes they're already set in their ways, and I have a few of my own, which I love and appreciate. But I like new agents. I think that if they're hungry, I can work with them, and most of the time they listen, and they don't know better, right? So if I
Yep.
tell them just put 5 days in your contingency, they go ahead and do it, and they think that everybody does, right? So it's funny because they talk about the way that I work with them with other season agents. They're like, "Do you do that?" Yes, Maui told me to. So it's like they know how to work the way that I work, and they are willing to learn. And then after that initial, I would say, conversation comes the coaching or the mentorship or the one on one. And we establish at least 4 or 5 weeks in which we're going to meet for 45 minutes every week. And I'm going to show you what's going on with your business and how we can fix it and how we can work together better. So I'm going to show you how I can follow, or send you a lead tracker so we can both follow it. And Fridays, I'm going to send you this, tracker of the leads that you're sending me. And this is how we're going to take care of your database, showing me your database. Who are we calling from here? So there's a lot of tools that we have as lenders that they don't have. And
Yep.
and if they do, they don't follow. So I go through that process with them when they're serious. They sit down with me 45 minutes every single week for 5 weeks, and after that, they graduate to being a VIP. So that's how it works.
Oh, that's fantastic. As we were talking on this prep for this call, you're going, in 2022, I had like 48 people I'm working with, and it got to be too much. And I decided to really dedicate myself to 12, to a dozen.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, when you said that, what does it mean to dedicate yourself to these VIPs? So you just described how you would find somebody who's really hungry, who's going to listen, who wants to work their butt off, and you kind of coach them on running a real business and prospecting and tracking to become a VIP. Once they're VIPs for you today, what does it look like that I'm a dedicated VIP to Maui? How do you stay in touch with me? What kind of value add? How do you earn my business?
We have pipeline meetings every single week. I send you reports every single week, the same way that I have the same respect that I show to a builder account, I show to my VIPs. The same respect. If I tell you that I'm going to be there at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday to have a pipeline meeting and show you where we are in the deals that you have, I'm going to be there. Usually those are the deals that I get more involved in. Everything else my team handles. So I detach myself from the other agents that are not VIPs. And I try to be there when they need me, right? If they really need me and not my LOA, not my assistant, and they need me, those are the those are the people that are going to get my phone call, my attention. We also do book clubs. We do things like going out every quarter, and we have lunch, just a private lunch for us to do like a mastermind kind of session where they ask about what worked this quarter and what we can implement for the next. So they're my tribe, they're my people, and I like to have that group because you can also measure the energy of the people that wants to work with you and the ones that you want to work with too, right? Because I have fired a couple also, so it's this is a stressful job. So you need to really pick people that you feel comfortable working with and that you're going to have fun with, right? So it gives me that opportunity to find my tribe, find my people.
And you made mention of a group text. So do you have these 12 to 15 VIPs on a group together? Do they all know about each other and you kind of coach them and mastermind with them together?
They know about each other, yes, which is very interesting because they're jealous sometimes. But now they like each other. They know that they're part of the clique, right? And yes, I have a group chat with them. We do challenges sometimes as well. And like I said, we go out every quarter, and now they're friends. And one of the things we do that, and then that group chat as well, is they have listings. They put it in there. So we start
Wow.
networking between them and be like, okay, so who has a buyer? Let's talk about this. So and so has a listing. Let's help them out. So now it has become a really good tool and resource for them as well to be in that team, in that chat.
So one of the things I work on as I coach loan officers, Maui, is to take us from being just subservient vendor. We're running around with our hands out and begging for business and say, hey, you got anyone? You got anyone? You got anyone? Here's a donut. Here's a flyer. To at least being on the same level. Let's be real. We're still, serving them. They can't close a deal without us. They are the referral partner. They own the relationship first, generally, before they refer us. But the more I can become at least equal to them, and if not the leader of them, the more I can build a business that I'm in control of, right? And what I wanted to call you earlier was like mother hen, because you bring everybody in as in a very mothering way. I see you do it with your loan officers, and now I hear you do it with your VIPs, and you're like, but now I want to call you a tribe leader and a tribe builder. That as a networker, you're building this community within Atlanta, and then within your community, you're building this tribe of like, we're all going to win together. And even with that level of attention that you're paying to people, you're telling me that always there's 3 or 4 people that are getting lazy, or maybe they become divas or whatever. And you're kind of weeding them out, or, continuing to add people because you can't keep counting on the same people. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And like I said, it started as my top 10. Right now is my top 15, right? Because some of them have, I don't know, they have been traveling too much, I guess. But we always connect. We connect for our business planning at the end of the year. That's another thing that has helped me, because I talk about their goals and dreams. And it's very crucial when you keep them accountable and you bring them back to that, right? I had one that wanted to go to Argentina and reconnect with her family and things like that. And I had to call her back to that. And I said, these are your numbers for the first quarter. This is what you told me that you want to reach, and I want to bring you there. Remember that dream about going to Argentina? I'm still committed to that dream. What about you? Now, when you do that to somebody, they know you care. They really know you care. It's about them, right? Last year, one of my realtors was in debt, and my mission became to get her debt free by the end of the year. And when we closed that last loan, Shay, oh my goodness, it was so exciting. I was like, this is the one that we needed. Go ahead and pay it. Now we're debt free, and I was excited for her and for her husband and her kids. And when you build that level of commitment and relationship, now you become their partner, right? You become their partner. They know you care about those dreams they have, and you're going to do everything possible to get them there.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my gosh. You're on a mission together. That's what you said in the beginning. And I really believe it. I sit here and go, how the hell does she have the time? How does she have 6 kids? How does she do all of these events? And then what about the fact that you've got to convert leads and meet with borrowers face to face? So you were telling me that you batch your pre-approval meetings. Like you'll have a couple days that you meet with clients back to back. What does that look like for you now? What is your day-to-day schedule? Do you take any days off? Yes. How many hours are you working, Maui? What does that look like?
So Fridays and Sundays are my days off. Saturdays, I have full days at the office where I see people. I have a better staff right now. I have more people helping me with the initial intake and gathering documents and doing all the, running credit and doing that initial step. So then after that, once everything is done, and I will say everything is on Encompass, and I have at least a view of what's going on. My junior will give me kind of like the proposal, right? And I
Mhm.
go over that with the client. So meetings that were before 45 minutes, now they're 15 minutes. So I'm more intentional about those meetings too, because it's important for me to connect with people during those meetings. But at that point, I already know what they qualify for, my options and all that. Now, I believe that everybody deserves a consultation. I do believe that. I don't believe in online applications. I think that everybody deserves a consultation. If they're giving you their time, and also they're giving you their dream, they're trusting you with a dream, right? You should give them your time, at least 15 to 20 minutes, to talk about homeownership and their options. So that's how it works. Yes, I do take time off, and also my morning routines and staying consistent with that. I have to go to the gym. I have to meditate. I have to do my hot 15. I have to do those things in the morning so I can stay sane, and also figure out my day and be more efficient.
Well, yeah, I can see you're such a heart-led, passionate leader, mother, salesperson, right? And if you don't keep your fire lit, you lose that. And and then that's when it gets to be about numbers and spreadsheets
Yeah.
and names on a board versus families and lives and their stories and dreams. So it's just incredible to see what you've built. And what I love about interviewing you, Maui, is that I think so many people listening do really, really care about people, and they do love helping people have a dream. What I find with you is you're just incredibly bold. I remember you saying at one point, you stood up in front of the room at one of these classes and said, I'm not accepting any more customers, no more agents or something. So tell me about that story. And then any advice on how to be more direct or bold or speak from your heart?
So yeah, so that was last year. At the beginning of the year, I said I'm not taking more any new clients anymore. Like the doctors, when they said we're not taking new patients, well, I said I'm not taking new realtors anymore, new clients anymore. And for some people in the room, that was kind of rude, and they didn't like it. But for my VIPs, that meant now I'm going to dedicate myself to you. So you better take advantage of that. Now, yes, I think that we need to be bold. We need to speak up our minds. And a lot of managers, I will say, if I speak to branch managers, like you said, I will say that is one of the toughest jobs in this industry. We, most of the time, we don't tell our teams what the vision is. We're not bold enough to stand up and say, you know what, I want to do this. Yes, I do want to have 2 billion in production. That's what I want. And see the reaction and see who there is interested in going with you. And it's important for people to know, and for you to speak your mind. And with agents, the same thing. These are my expectations. This is what I'm trying to build. And by building that, you're going to be one of the beneficiaries of that. So I'm going to commit myself to you as well, so we can all win together.
Last question. When you say somebody's a VIP, and I know the level of dedication you're now pouring into these folks, what are you hoping to close with them on an annual basis? What's your expectation for number of units that you do together?
So my goal with them is between 15 and 35 units.
Per person?
Some of them, yeah, per agent. That's my goal. Yeah. That's what I set up as a goal for them. So a minimum of 12, at least once, one a month. But that's what I push them to do. Some of them do meet that goal. Some of them, one of my VIPs last month closed 42 units by herself. So it's possible. But you have to, again, why not, right? You have to create big goals. So if we don't get there, that's okay. But we also are very strategic on knowing what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we talk finances, their finances, not mine, but their finances. Okay, let me see, what is it that we're doing? Oh, so-and-so is graduating and they're going to college. Okay, we have to work for that, right? So we build it around their needs as well. their hopes and their goals and their trips that they want to make and all those things. So that's what we do. Mm-hmm.
Well, you said to me early on that the lesson you learned from your father is your secret sauce and your superpower. And I got to guess that that lesson you learned from your dad was nothing is impossible and to go big or go home. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And what I've learned in that being a secret sauce is that that will either attract or repel people. And that's exactly what you're hoping for in having a big vision and going for big goals. Like, I want to close 15 deals with you. I think most loan officers are like, can we close 2 together, please? And you're like, no, I want 15 to 35 deals closed this year. This year, we're doing that. And again, you're going to attract the people who want to hustle and who want to grind and who want to work it out. And you're able to attract those people because you are hustling and you're meeting them with your heart and your work ethic and your time and your dedication and commitment. So last question on these Saturdays. I come into your office and you just got people lined up is what I understand. Like, how many people did you meet this last Saturday? And are they 20-minute meetings or are they 45-minute meetings? How did that go?
Yeah, so it's, I'm trying to keep it 20 minutes. My assistants kill me if I don't, because yes, we have kids, we have strollers and grandma and, and people waiting with tamales in the lobby. So we, some of these Saturdays is eight families, sometimes it's 16, sometimes it's 20. So it's very early. We start at 8 in the morning, sometimes until 5, sometimes later. Remember, I serve a community that works really hard. And most of the time they work from Monday through Friday. And they don't stop working. They work a lot. So Saturdays is a day where they sometimes have times for these things and they want to meet and they want to see people in person. So,
and your team is working Saturday too?
Yes. So I rotate and they help with things like making the copies, scanning documents and things like that. And I just have to sit down and talk to the clients. That's what we do.
I told you I want to fly out to Atlanta and just be a fly on the wall and watch you work. I'm so excited for this big vision that you have. And what I'm most excited about is how many other people are becoming successful being part of your tribe. The loan officers that are on your team and that you have brought into your world and said, we're doing this together, baby. All the realtors that you've said, we're doing this, and with a level of love and intensity that makes them better. Maui, I think you are truly special. We're all going to be rooting you on. I know this is going to go down as a killer episode, especially for anybody who is a trust builder, networker. And I hope more Latina and Latinos that serve your community also will pick up some nuggets here, because I think what you've done in terms of events in Spanish, working on Saturdays, doing the family parties it's just a way that you are building community that continues to spin off growth year after year. So congratulations and thank you for being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was fun. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.